welcome back to New Post today. Today let's see something regarding the office of the Speaker, and the Supreme Court is questioning the decision of the Maharashtra Speaker with regard to the according of the real faction of Shiv Sena to the Eknath Shinde camp, which actually split from the real Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena political party in Maharashtra in 2022. We get to see here in the example of Maharashtra how a split can be maneuvered to topple a government and form a new government with a new coalition, and how the anti-defection also does not apply in case of a split. And very importantly here, the Speaker's power, the most important, who decides on disqualification, and how the Speaker can use his power to subvert an existing government. These are some of the things that we get to know with regard to the change in political a split and change in the government in Maharashtra, which happened in 2022, where a member of the Shiv Sena, of Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena existing, which had a coalition government along with NCP and Congress at that point of time in June 2022, went on to take away the MLAs, going away to Guwahati and claiming that he can form the government, and then forming a coalition with the BJP government, and later also getting into his camp the NCP leader Ajit Pawar, who went on to become a deputy CM, the level of a deputy CM. So the working of the political party and how important it is, especially with regard to be united as a team to maintain the government at the state level, this we get to see over here. Let's look into what exactly did the Supreme Court question the Speaker of Maharashtra with regard to the Shiv Sena faction political party condition. So the Supreme Court questioned the basis of the Speaker, who said that the Eknath Shinde faction of Shiv Sena is the real Shiv Sena, and they have been accorded the bow and arrow symbol also of the political party, saying that that is the original Shiv Sena party. And the Supreme Court says that the basis on which the strength, that is the legislative majority which is taken into consideration, as now Eknath Shinde forms a majority with regard to Shiv Sena, taking into consideration the legislative majority and then giving the original party tag to a faction is not right, and this is in contrary with the May 2023 judgment given by the Supreme Court, which itself said that just not legislative majority but other components like the constitution of the party also have to be taken into consideration, and also the membership outside the party as well. Now this incident shows how the Speaker can use his constitutional position to subvert a government. The 10th schedule of the Constitution provided 2 exceptions. So you can disqualify a MLA or an MP if they give up the membership of the political party on whose ticket they become a member of the Legislative Assembly or the Legislative Council or Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So the 10th schedule originally provided 2 exceptions where it would render members, it would not render the members liable to disqualification. First is that if 1/3 of the members of a legislature party split to form a separate group, and second, if there is a merger of their political party with another party that is approved by 2/3 of the members. So this is an exception to 10th schedule where you cannot disqualify the members. So what exactly had happened in Maharashtra? Now in June 2022, a big political turmoil in Maharashtra. The faction of Shiv Sena, headed by Eknath Shinde, moved 37 out of 55 MLAs from the Shiv Sena party headed by Uddhav Thackeray, and it appointed Bharat Gogawale as its whip. The Uddhav Thackeray faction claimed that they were original political party, and then and that the Sunil the other faction was not the original political party. They went on to take away the MLAs, go away to Guwahati and claim that they can form the government, and that they split from Shiv Sena and then joined hands with BJP and then formed the political party. They were actually liable to disqualification under the 10th schedule, but looking at the split, this is what the basis was they take. So 1/3 of the members, they have agreed to split, and therefore they formed the Shiv Sena of Eknath Shinde, and this is how they joined hand with BJP and formed the government. Now, the Speaker recognized Eknath Shinde faction as the real Shiv Sena and held that the appointment of the whip by this group was valid, and this was based on the strength of the members of the Eknath Shinde faction and the party's 1999 constitution details. The Speaker based this ruling that he cannot disqualify Eknath Shinde's MLAs where he refused to disqualify 40 MLAs of the Shinde faction. He refused to also disqualify 14 members of the Uddhav Thackeray faction, as the whip instructions from Bharat Gogawale could not be physically served to them at that particular point of time, and so he did not either disqualify the Eknath Shinde and also pronounced that Eknath Shinde is the real camp of the Shiv Sena. Now, Supreme Court was hearing a petition of Uddhav Balsaheb Thackeray. This petition was filed against the Speaker's decision to dismiss disqualification of the Shinde faction and the legislature. Supreme Court wondered if the Maharashtra Speaker's decision to hold the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde faction as the real Shiv Sena by applying the test of legislative majority is tenable, raising a question that it lies at the heart of a political struggle that happened in 2022, and now it's not decided even before the 2024 Lok Sabha election. The Supreme Court said that the decision of the Speaker had gone contrary to one verdict of the Supreme Court that was given in May 2023, led by our very own Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud. Now, the Supreme Court in May 2023 held that in case of a vertical split of a political party, it would be futile to assess which group enjoys a majority in the legislature, and the real faction cannot be just taken on the basis of one condition, that is the legislative majority. The Shiv Sena suffered a vertical split in 2022 when Shinde and other 38 legislators walked out of the political party that was led by Uddhav Thackeray and joined hands with BJP to form the government. The rebellion broke down the then Maha Vikas Aghadi government of the Maharashtra. Now, in May 2023, the Constitution Bench invalidated Maharashtra Governor's decision asking CM Uddhav Thackeray to face a flow test and flagged a flurry of errors due to the political drama that toppled the MVA or the Maha Vikas Aghadi government, but refused to put Thackeray back into the saddle because he voluntarily actually resigned instead of facing a trust vote. He resigned, and therefore the government of the day fell down, and thus Eknath Shinde along with the other MLAs could form the government. At that time, the court left it to Narwarkar, who is the Speaker, to decide the disqualification petitions pending before Shinde and Thackeray group, and thus rejecting Thackeray's plea that the court should actually decide on the disqualifications itself. By a separate decision in February 2022, Election Commission ruled that the Shinde faction, Eknath Shinde faction, would inherit the Shiv Sena's party name and the bow and arrow symbol, and this was widely criticized by the Uddhav Thackeray camp, whose father Balsaheb Thackeray is the head of the political party, and Uddhav Thackeray being his son. Now, Maharashtra, let me tell you, sends 48 MPs to the Lok Sabha, which is the second highest after UP's 80 MLAs. The Thackeray faction therefore alleged that Shinde has unconstitutionally usurped power and therefore is an unconstitutional government. He challenged the orders of the speakers. Thackeray then faction claimed that they are the lawful faction, and instead of punishing the act of defection, the speaker is actually rewarding the defectors by holding that they are the real political party. And this amounts to complete subversion of the 10th schedule of the constitution, which intends to disqualify the legislatures who act against the political party. This is what is said, and if you look at the real situation, they are liable to disqualification, but they are actually saved by the speaker. And the folly which Uddhav Thackeray committed is that by resigning instead of actually proving his majority on the floor of the house. The Shinde group then formed the government. The Election Commission, I told you, gave the Shiv Sena name and the bow and arrow to the Shinde, and is in his order on the disqualification petition filed by the Shinde-led Sena and the rival Uddhav Thackeray camp, Narwarkar said that Sunil Prabhu of the Sena group of the Shiv Sena of Uddhav Thackeray had ceased to be the whip in June 2021 when the party split, and the legislature Bharat Gogawale of the Shinde group actually was the authorized whip. The speaker also said that the Shiv Sena Pramukh chief did not have the power to remove the leader from the party, and he did not therefore accept the argument that the will of the party chief and the will of the party whip is synonymous. So he said that there was a change in the whip and also the speaker, and therefore it is for and the constitution also says with regard to disqualification and decision on the disqualification petition, the speaker has the power. Now saying that the speaker had changed, he did not have the power to disqualify, and the present speaker's decisions have to be followed by the political party. Basically, the decision is now about the speaker giving his verdict that the Shiv Sena is the real faction and not the Uddhav Thackeray. So therefore, Uddhav Thackeray actually cannot claim back the sign and also the Shiv Sena real faction status. This is one of the issue, and apart from that, how the change in the government means the change in the speaker also, because usually the speaker comes from the ruling party, and how the speaker can save the government by not accepting the disqualification of the MLAs. So this is how the power of the speaker is also saving the Eknath Shinde camp. And apart from that, the whip, the whip or the whip changed as soon as the split of the party was there. So the whip of Eknath Shinde was appointed, and therefore once if the whip is violated, they are liable to disqualification. But the speaker says the whip had changed, and therefore the members are not liable to disqualification. So change in the whip. That is the whip who came up was the Eknath Shinde whip, and apart from that, change in the speaker, and also the decision of the folly committed by Uddhav Thackeray by resigning and actually not proving his majority on the floor of the house. This went on to save the Eknath Shinde camp, and this is about how the role of the speaker is really important to save the government of the day, and how a split in the political party can topple the government. And now Supreme Court saying that not only the legislative majority can be used for determining the real faction of a political party, but there are other conditions as well, and this decision has been postponed now to April 1st, where the Supreme Court will come up with the real verdict on the Uddhav Thackeray appeal or the petitions that have been filed. So until then, it's wait and watch situation about what the Supreme Court is going to tell about the speaker's decision and also the real faction of the Uddhav Thackeray, keeping in mind that now we have the 2024 Lok Sabha elections coming up, and this political party will really play a major role in Maharashtra. So I hope this information was really helpful to you all. If you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to comment as well as the end of the video, and I shall see you in my new post. Until then, it's happy learning.